guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Princess. I'm a midwife and I'm also a mother. On this channel we talk about everything pregnancy, motherhood, parenting, delivery, baby, and everything in between. So if you're new here, hi, welcome, hello. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to comment on whatever videos you want me to talk about in my subsequent ones. On today's video, I would like to talk about what your doctor or your midwife is looking for when they are doing a vaginal examination. I've had a couple of my clients tell me if we can go through the whole labor and delivery process without having to do a vaginal examination. There are so many misconceptions about why we do a vaginal examination, and some pregnant women or some women in labor even think healthcare providers are trying to get sexual pleasure. I know it's very weird, but some people have that notion inside of their vaginas when they are doing a vaginal examination. So today I'm here to clarify everything, why we do a vaginal examination and what we are looking for when we do a vaginal examination. So basically, when your doctor or your midwife, your healthcare provider is going to do a vaginal examination, they will tell you to go and empty your bladder or have you urinate, and then they would wash their hands with soap and the running water, and they are going to wear a pair of sterile gloves because the vagina is a sterile area. Okay, so after they do that, you're going to lie down with your legs opened wide, and then they are going to have access into your cervix through your vagina. Your fingers, usually 2 fingers, inside of your vagina. So basically what they are doing is that they are checking for what we call cervical dilatation, cervical effacement, and also station. So once you are going into labor, you hear it a lot that the staff in your labor and delivery room are talking about cervical dilatation, cervical effacement, and also station. I know it's a little bit weird for you, especially if you don't work in the healthcare. So I'm here to tell you what it is and what exactly we are looking for. Okay, so with the cervical dilatation, what we are doing is that we want to see how open your cervix is. I would like to explain the cervix in relation to a door. So we have your uterus being like a room where the baby is being baked until it is term. And if you are not very well familiar with the relationship with the cervix and then your womb and then your vagina, you enter the vagina and then you have access to the cervix, and then the cervix is like the gateway to the uterus or the womb where the baby is being baked. So if you're pregnant, it's like you have locked a door and then you are waiting for a time, let's say in our case 9 months, when labor starts, and then we open the door. When the baby is done baking, the baby is healthy, then we open the door so that the baby comes. But the door doesn't just open. The door kind of opens little by little by little before finally it opens, and then whoever is inside of the room can come out. So that's in the case of what we call cervical dilatation. So the cervical dilatation is like a door starting to open. So we rate cervical dilatation from 1 or a tip of a finger to 10 centimeters dilated, with 1 being, or a tip of a finger, meaning that the door is very slightly open, to 10 centimeters meaning that the door is wide open, and then whoever is inside of the room can come out. So we are looking at how open the cervix is when we are looking how open the cervix is when we are doing a vaginal examination. That's just one part. And then the second part is that we're also looking for what we call cervical effacement. The cervix is thick and then long. So during labor, we expect it to shorten and also become thin. That is what we call effacement. And also with effacement, we rate it from 0% to 100%, with 0% meaning that the cervix is not effaced at all, and with 100% meaning that the cervix is fully effaced and it's as thin as a paper. Okay, so the cervix is usually longer and then it is very thick. and the baby cannot pass through that long cervix, which is also thick. So even though the cervix is opening, the cervix has to also become softer and then thinner. So that's basically about cervical effacement. So if your cervix is fully effaced, that is if it is thin and short, and then the cervix is not open, that means the baby cannot come out. And also if the cervix is open and then it is not effaced, or it hasn't become shorter and thinner, that means the baby still cannot come out of it. And if you force the baby out of that particular cervix, then it can lead to a lot of complications, including cervical tears. The next thing we're looking for when we are doing a vaginal or a cervical examination is what we call the station. So with the station, what it means is that we want to know how the presenting part, usually the head, is related to an anatomical structure called the ischial spine. So what we are basically trying to do is that we want to know how far down the presenting part is. So for example, the baby is coming with the head, or the baby is coming through the cervix with the head. The head is what is closer to the cervix. So how far is the head, or whichever part that is coming first, related to an anatomical structure called the ischial spine, which is also on the pelvis. So basically that is what we are looking for. So with the station, we rate it with -3 to +3, with -3 meaning that the presenting part or the head is very high up in the pelvis, so it hasn't even descended into the pelvis, and with +3 meaning that it has descended further down and sometimes even inside of the vagina already. And then what 0 station means is that the head or the presenting part is at the level of the ischial spine. So what we are trying to look out for is +3 station, which means that the baby's head has passed through the pelvis and then it's ready to be delivered. So if you have a cervix that is 10 centimeters dilated, and then we have effacement that is 100% effacement, and then we have a station of -3, then the baby can still not come out of the uterus, because the head has to pass through the pelvis and then come down. And so that's basically what we are looking out for with a station. And if membranes have ruptured, usually if you are pregnant, we have amniotic fluid that is surrounding the baby, and we have some membranes that's the amniotic fluid is inside, so it's kind of covering the baby, and then it has fluid inside. So look at the membranes like a balloon. So the baby is inside of the balloon with water inside of the balloon. So the baby is kind of swimming inside of the water that's inside of the balloon. During labor, the membranes can rupture at any point in time. So if the membranes rupture, that means the balloon has burst. Okay, so the balloon is no more intact anymore. So membranes have ruptured. So when membranes rupture too, there are extra things that we look out for when we are doing a cervical examination. One of the things is the color of the amniotic fluid. So whatever content was inside of the balloon, or the water that the baby is swimming inside, what is the color? Okay, so we really want to see a clear color of amniotic fluid. Okay, so sometimes you have amniotic fluid that is greenish, and we call that meconium stained liquor, and that can be a sign of so many things. So we want to see the color of the liquor. And the next thing we would also want to check once the membranes have become ruptured is the fetal skull, usually called the molding. And then molding, when we talk about molding, it is the extent to which the fetal skull is overlapping during labor. And this gives us a clue about the rate of compression the fetal head is subjected to when it's passing through the birth canal. So the molding is also rated from 0 to +3. So if you have 0 molding, or your doctor says you have 0 molding, what that means is that your sutures can be felt and they have not been overlapped, or they are not close together. And when we have +1 molding, what it means is that the sutures are close together but are not overlapping. When you have +2 molding, what it means is that the sutures are overlapping, but then it can be separated with the 2 fingers without any difficulty. And then if they score you a +3 molding, what that means is that the fetal head is severely overlapping, and that can be a sign that there is disproportion, which may suggest obstructed labor. And during times like these, the woman may not be able to deliver per vagina and may have to be delivered via cesarean section. So if we don't do a vaginal examination, how are we going to find out all of these things that may be going on with your cervix and with your baby? We can go through the whole delivery process without having to do 1 or 2 vaginal examinations, depending on what goes on with you. Okay, so when you go to your labor and delivery room and you hear all of these things, I'm sure by now you're familiar with it, and you'd have a lot of patience for your doctor or your midwife or for your healthcare provider. So we are aiming at 10 centimeter cervical dilatation. That means the door has been wide open, and then 100% effacement, meaning the cervix has become shorter and then thinner. And then we are also looking for +3 station, which means that the head is ready down the pelvis and can be delivered already. And also, if membranes have ruptured, then we are looking for a clear amniotic fluid, and then we expect that the sutures are not severely overlapping. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any comments, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Until I see you in my next one, have a nice day.